Welcome back, guys. Those who've been watching, we had Big Joe. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Big Joe Egan for the first time, probably for a month, maybe a month ago. Was it?
About a month ago with Dougie.
With Dougie Joyce. Probably a moment we won't forget with two men of your calibre, should I say, in the same room. Mate, good conversation. But since then, we spoke an awful lot.
Yes.
You raised a fairly good point. I expect you spend a lot of time in front of the camera, and most of the stuff you do, if I've got this right, is very boxing orientated.
I do a lot of interviews about my boxing career. Not that there's much to talk about. What? No. I wasn't anything special.
No, you always say this.
The men I shared the ring with were special.
Yeah.
And I was very privileged and honoured to share the ring with Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis, the two greatest heavyweights of my era.
Yeah.
Two of the greatest heavyweights of all time. So for people to be interested in them, that's how I get interviewed.
Yeah, and look, I support that. Like, I think I spoke to you the first time. Yeah, I remember sitting at a Chamber of Commerce dinner and Frank Bruner was there, and just I think someone managed to fire one of the best questions, like, "What's it like walking in the ring with Mike Tyson?" And he's like, huh, 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 and then he just turns around and says, "It's the most scared he's ever been." I think that just sets the tone.
I'm good friends with Frank Bruno. Boxing is the greatest sport in the world. I'm biased being an ex-fighter, Dave. But boxing doesn't just need great fighters, it needs great ambassadors.
Yeah.
And they don't come much finding with Frank Bruno.
Yeah.
He is class. That's exactly the word, class. I've shared the top table with that man many, many, many times. And
super humble as well.
He's a gentleman. And I've done book signings with him.
He does a lot of stuff for charity, right?
Loads for charity.
Yeah.
I did a dinner show with him in Leeds Football Club with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I'm sharing the top table. I'm very honoured to be on the top table with these two greats. And there was 1,500 people in the audience. It was rammed.
Yeah.
And the man that was asking the question was in awe of Mike and Frank. He's a big boxing fan, but he was a barrister who was a personal friend of the promoter, and he asked, could he host the event?
Yeah.
So he's talking to Frank and Mike like as if he's in his front room. He wasn't oblivious to the 1,500 people who are there. He's chatting away. And this man, like I said, a barrister, lovely, lovely man, very intellectual, very intelligent. And he said, guys, I'd like to ask you this question, he said, I know you've shared the ring together, he said, in a fight. He said, but I believe you sparred together. So he said, what was the first memory of each other? So I'm sitting on the top table. I thought, what a lovely question.
Good question, that.
Right? And then Frank said, I sparred with Mike when I was 20 years of age, and Mike was 15. And he said, I remember this savage, ferocious, vicious, aggressive animal attacking me in the ring. He said, that's my first memory of Mike Tyson. And then he said to Mike, and your first memory of Frank? He said his impeccable manners.
Yeah.
And I thought, one end of the ring, the scale savagery. The other end, his impeccable manners. And he said, his impeccable manners? He said, yes. He said, when I met Frank, he said, he was so polite.
Yeah.
And he said,
especially for his size.
That stuck in my mind, Mike said, his impeccable manners. And I just thought, how lovely,
You're quite similar though, mate. From someone who watched you on the TV, you're a menacing, you're a big bloke. Do you know what I mean? So I think people can have that feel, but ever since I met you,
I've had so many people say it to me, you're not what we expected, Joe. I pride myself on my manners. Manners make it.
I think, mate, would you not agree? I think the fight community, like, if you're known for being associated with a combat sport, there could always be something like that attached to it. But they're generally the most polite or humble people, I guess.
Most fighters have nothing to prove. When the bell goes in the ring or in the cage or on the mat, that's when a fighter has to be menacing, has to be aggressive, has to be, for want of another word, violent. It's a violent sport.
But it's still calculated, right? I think it's the other thing.
When you're in the ring, controlled violence.
It's not through emotion.
No, it's controlled violence. No, there's promoters and managers try to make it personal.
Emotional, yeah.
Because they want to sell tickets, they want to put bums on seats, they want to have as many viewers as they can on TV. So they've got to try and promote it as if it's personal.
Yeah.
But most fighters, as a matter of fact, I could say nearly all fighters, it's nothing personal. Two of the trilogy with Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward, three of the best fights. They were best friends. They'd sit at the bar and share a beer together. Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales, I think they fought 3 times or 4 times as well. Not only were they friends, their wives were friends, but they had to eyeball each other and back and everything else for the Mexican community to get behind these two great warriors, and they can't be sort of smiling at each other, hugging each other in the build up to a fight. Smile and hug after the fight's over.
Yeah. Respect comes in. Right?
Oh, the biggest thing in the world is respect. Self-respect and respect for others.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe boxing instills in fighters, is respect for themselves and respect for their opponent.
Yeah.
And that's such an important thing.
You can remove a lot of, you give people courage, it sounds a bit daft, but I think people find themselves a bit, because most people are scared of stuff, right? And I think
you can't give anybody courage.
It's earned.
You're born with courage.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I think
I reckon I know.
You could find it then.
No.
Really?
No. You're born with courage. You're born with courage. You can teach people skills to fight, but you cannot teach them courage.
Heart, I suppose.
You cannot teach them courage. It's either
or you unlock it. I'm saying this. It's just if I reflect my time in the military, I didn't think I was that courageous.
It's in you. No.
You might find it.
It's in individuals that might never find it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
you understand? They might never find it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it's in them individuals.
Yeah.
You know, them individuals that have that courage in them might not necessarily ever get into a fight in their life, might not necessarily even raise their voice in their life, but it's in them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But then there's other people that want to be aggressive but haven't got the courage.
Yeah.
You know, because they weren't born with it. You understand?
You can find that pretty quick.
Well, the thing is, there's what would I put it? In the human race, there's a lot of sheep. There's only a certain amount of lions.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the population of the world,
everyone just wanders.
There's a lot of sheep, and there's only certain individuals, lions. And I believe that you walk onto the mat, you walk into the cage, you walk into the boxing ring, you're a lion. You know, or in the female, a lioness, as such. You know, because
so let's not be. Let's not
you know, no, not a chance. I admire. I admire.
Well, we just had the lionesses. Literally, look at the England female rugby team, haven't they? They just done well.
Brilliant. Beat the Canadians in the final.
And the women are doing better than the men at football. So we're being taught a lesson here.
The suffragettes did what they did for women to have equality. If women want to box, if women want to play rugby, if women want to cage fight, so be it. Who are we?
Well, look at Ronda Rousey.
Incredible.
Like, do you mean?
What a fighter.
Literally.
What a fighter.
Highest, didn't she earn the most pay-per-views or something? I mean, she was one of the biggest earners for the UFC.
Incredible. I got a message on my phone from Ronda.
No.
Yeah. She said, I got my friend Kamal Singh, he introduced me to two young warriors, the Muay Thai fighters, the Twin Stallions, and from Leeds. Incredible. If you were to look at these two boys, they just look. They're beautiful young boys.
Yeah.
They don't look as like violent boys.
Yeah.
But see, when they get into that fight frame of mind, they're ferocious.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just lovely young boys. But they've got such a massive following around the world in the fight fraternity. And Ronda Rousey sent a message across to them, but she included me in the message. She included Kamal Singh in the message. She included Daryl. It was a lovely message. There's been a lot of fighters have contacted them because they're big fans of theirs. Yeah. So I've been on the tailwind of them with the messages. But I can say I've had a message from Ronda Rousey. Yeah.
Well, look, the aim of this was not to talk. I don't think it's to talk wholly about boxing, but we slid into it. So, for someone watching, what is a normal day in the life of you look like, mate, right now? What's Big Joe doing day to day, week to week, right now?
My full-time job. I've always worked security, Dave. I left school when I was 14. My mum's people are travelling people, and I didn't really fancy an education. I wanted to go out to work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not stupid, but I thought I'm not going to be hanging around in school when it's not going to benefit me. I left school with 2 swimming certificates. I was on the doors of nightclubs at 15. And I really believed at 14 and 15 that I'm going to make my livelihood with boxing. You know, you see all these champions, and every fighter that climbs into the ring dreams about becoming a champion of the world. I wasn't good enough, nowhere near good enough, but I dreamed the dream. And I thought, I'm going to make my livelihood boxing. I didn't. My career was cut short because of a car accident, and I did okay, you know, but security has always been my safety net.
Yeah.
You know, I stood on doors at 15, and I went into the airlines. I worked for Delta Airlines as an air marshal.
An air marshal?
Yeah, I was working with Delta Airlines. No. I wasn't.
The fuck's an air marshal?
Just doing security for Delta Airlines. But you travel. We used to travel.
This is what, 80s then?
It would have been, yeah, it would have been the 80s, because when I went professional, I went professional in 1990, and at one of my professional fights, Delta Airlines actually advertised. They actually advertised on 2 of my programs of Mr. Eastwood's. He was my manager, and they said that Delta would like to see Joe's career take off like a Delta aircraft. You know, it was a lovely piece. They sponsored the event, and I worked for Delta for a few years. FAA registered, Federal Aviation Authority registered. You know, so that's a feather in my cap to get that.
So what did that look like?
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
On the plane. Did anyone fuck about?
I didn't travel from Ireland to Atlanta much. I travelled the odd time. We used to do it Dublin to Shannon, so that was our stint. And then Shannon.
Air Marshal, you'd be on there.
I'd be on there. Yeah.
Doing what? Would anyone fuck about?
Sometimes you'd have passengers coming out of the lounge, the executive lounge, and they might be a little bit inebriated. They might be a little bit too drunk.
Yeah.
So we have to monitor them from Dublin to Shannon. If we felt that they weren't sober enough to do the rest of the journey, then we'd have to escort them off the plane. You know, so,
you got any good stories?
No, I wouldn't talk like that. I wouldn't dare.
No one got too pissed?
Oh, there was a few.
Yeah. I was going to say.
No, I'm not a rat. I'm not a rat.
Very good.
So, anyway,
so what are you doing nowadays? What's the...
I've had the safety net of security. Yeah. I still do security now. I'm a bodyguard. I look after business people that I've worked for. One man I've worked for 31 years. Been friends with him 31 years as well, and another one 17 years, and I work for good people, you know, kind people.
So what's a day at work look like for doing that?
Just making sure that they run smooth.
Yeah,
that's really it. You know, I travelled. One of them I travelled to India with regular. 3 times a year I travelled to India. I was actually in India when COVID hit. I was on the job in India when COVID hit. And one of the friends of mine, an ex-SAS man, I've been very privileged to work with SAS men, ex-SAS men, probably the best soldiers in the world, and definitely some of the best bodyguards in the world. You're ex-military as well, Dave, so you know these guys. I was on the SAS base twice. I've been on the Marine base, the SBS, Special Boat Service base once. I've been on the Marine base, and I've been on the Gurkha base, and I've been on the SAS base twice. So I've worked with some great guys. Yeah. Been very, very fortunate to work with. But one of my friends, ex-SAS man, he phoned me. He said, "Joe, wherever you are in the world, get home. The world is closing down." So I said to the people I'm with, "We've got to leave." We got out to the airport 3 days before we were due to leave. They were closing off the airport. We got back into the UK. 3 days later, the airport was closed. People that I gave advice to in India didn't leave. They were locked in the hotel room for 9 months. They didn't take my advice. When I landed in the UK, I went straight to Dublin to go and see my mother. She was in a care home. When I landed in Dublin, complete lockdown in Dublin, and they wouldn't let me in to see my mother because of, you know, worried about the other people that were in the care home. And I didn't get to see my mother for 2 years. And then when the time came that they were giving these people these injections to say, you know, I didn't want to take these injections, but I wanted to see my mum. So I had these 2 injections, and I got to see my mother after 2 years. And
that's the bit I don't like about all this, mate. Forcing people to have an injection to do something like
It wasn't something I would have done by choice.
No, I know.
You know,
but look what you've been forced to. I mean, we've already proven that it didn't stop transmission.
No, because the thing they gave us wasn't tried or tested. You know, it was all... The
evidence is there right now.
You know, and I regret getting it done. You know, I didn't
get touch wood, haven't had any problems with it.
I didn't have the third jab.
Yeah.
I had the 2. And they gave me this badge or whatever thing, I've still got it, to say that I could travel. And
that's how they did it, didn't they? So you can't all go on holiday. I watch people do it.
I just wanted to go to Dublin to see my mum.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to do.
That family's different, mate. But I had people that fucking did it just to go on holiday. I'm like, not a chance. No. I wouldn't like to be controlled at the best time. Fucking, I'd rather wait. That was
what I'd done. So my everyday working life is security.
Yeah,
you know, I work for good people. Very fortunate that they're kind to me, and it beats digging holes. You know,
yeah, on the shovel, yeah.
You know, I was on the shovel. I worked on the shovel.
Did you?
Oh,
ground worker.
Listen to this, right? I was on the shovel this day. Right? I was on the shovel this day, and I'm shoveling away. And the foreman came over to me, said to me, "Joe, put the shovel down." So I put the shovel down. He said, "Joe, jump into the hole." So I jumped into the hole. He said, now, Joe, jump out of the hole. So I jumped out of the hole. He said, Joe, jump into the hole again. So I jumped in again. He said, now, Joe, jump out. So I jumped out. I said, boss, what have you got me jumping in and out of the hole for? He said, you're taking more dirt out of the sole of your boots than you were on the shovel.
That's the third one.
I wasn't much good than a shovel.
Yeah. No. So I was in the machine. That's what I did for a living. Yeah, but that's why I started. As soon as I got in the army, I was in a Worcester Rugby Club putting all the pipes in. I just thought, nah, can't do this for fucking a long time. So away from that, then acting.
Oh, I was fortunate with the acting. I did 2 adverts in Ireland when I was boxing.
Is that what started this?
No, I was a big fish in a small pond in Ireland. I was 7 times Irish boxing champion, and I was well known in Ireland through the boxing, and well liked. And I got an opportunity to do these adverts. I did a Lions Teabag advert and a Murphy Stout advert.
Tom, you're putting these up now.
I don't drink tea and I don't drink beer. I'm an Irishman that doesn't drink alcohol. People say, what sort of an Irishman are you? I said, my dad used to say I was a failure as an Irishman. It's expected of the paddies to drink. But I don't drink tea. I have a cup of coffee every now and again. That was a nice cup of coffee at the time. So I done these adverts, Lions Teabag, Murphy Stout adverts, and Hubbard Casting, a big casting company, John and Ross Hubbard, they gave me the parts through their casting agents. Their son, Matt Hubbard, is a big casting agent. They've cast for some big movies in Ireland, Braveheart, Saving Private Ryan. They've done some big castings filmed in Ireland. And I've done them too, but never pursued an acting career.
What would that look like then? How much you get paid for that at the time?
Oh, at the time, I got £500 for the Lions Teabag ad, which was a nice wage at the time. It was more than a week's wage at the time. Yeah. And then the following year, it was shown again, and I got a cheque for £250.
No way.
And I wasn't expecting it. And when you get that cheque, normally it was bills coming in the door. See, when I got that £250,
you were like me.
I thought, whoa, straight down to the bank. Mr. Hart was our bank manager in Bank of Ireland.
Yeah.
And a good friend of the family, knew my nana. She had a grocery business, a grocery shop and a fruit veg shop. So she had her business accounts in there. So we knew Mr. Hart. So normally it was like 3 days or whatever, 4 days for the cheque to cash, but it was an RTE. Radio television air and the Irish TV channels. So Mr. Hart said, look, Joe, that's not going to bounce. He said, I can cover that. Take that money there and then. And fair play to him. He gave it to me then, and £250. But that was a week's wages.
Yeah.
You know,
so that's the first one.
That was the first one. The Murphy Stout ad, I can't remember what I got for that.
How soon after the first one, the tea ad?
Oh, within a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I had a Galty cheese and a Chivers marmalade. I had 2 more, but I never got to do them because I was away boxing or training or whatever. So I never got to do them. So
what were you thinking? Did you get a taste for it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't something that I wanted to pursue.
You were just like, oh, right.
It was just something to do at the time, yeah. You know, and I really believed, Dave, boxing was going to bring me to the stars. You know, I was going to be rich. I was with Mr. Eastwood, the best camp in Europe. He had lots of world champions, lots of British champions, European champions. He had Barry McGuigan was his main claim to fame, and Dave Boy McCauley, another Irishman world champion. He had Paul Hodgkinson, the Liverpudlian featherweight champion of the world. He had Andy Holligan, he had the Wenton brothers, Richie and Nigel, Steve Collins, Ray Close. Oh my God, so many champions. Crisanto Espana, Victor Cordova, 2 South American world champions. So I'm in amongst all these great champions in the gym, living in the guest house in Bangor. I was loving life. I was getting paid for doing a sport that I love.
Yeah.
You know, so I never thought about pursuing an acting career. When my boxing finished, I had, like I said, the safety net of security. But I thought I'd go a different channel. I'd try and do something else, you know.
Yeah. Why not?
And Paddy Finn, who had the Dubliner pub in Digbeth in Birmingham. His father founded my old amateur boxing club, John Boxer Finn. So I came over to visit him, and he said, look, I had to retire from boxing, Joe, because I had problems with my discs and stuff. And he said, I've done well for myself in the pub and things. And he said, do you want to come and work for me? He said, I'll put you through courses. He put me through the MVQ course. I'd done 2 MVQs, and I'd done the BII certificate, the British Institute of Innkeeping. I'd done their courses. Like I said earlier, I left school with 2 swimming certificates. Now I've got these. I was very proud, you know, and I became the licensee of the Dubliner pub for 2 years. And Paddy Finn said, Joe, I'll get you your own pub down the road. eventually, and true to his word. He brought me over to a pub in Erdington called the Lyndhurst, and fine big pub. The trade had dropped. The people that were running the pub, they weren't doing a great trade, and the pub was up to take over the lease. Had a big function room, and I thought.
And you don't drink either.
No, I don't touch alcohol.
It's bang on then.
Yeah, I'd be no good working in a chip shop. I'd be my own best customer.
Or fucking sweet shop. You just had that.
Sweet
chocolate bar.
Chip shop or sweet shops. I'd run them into the ground. I've eaten that much. Anyway.
So you got the pub then?
Yeah, me and my business partner Tommy McYo, ex-Irish champion. We took over the Lyndhurst. We had it for 4.5 years.
So no one's fucking about in there for a start, there?
Oh no, they did.
Oh, did they?
They did. Oh yeah, they had the local racketeers.
Oh shit!
Who bullies, gangs of thugs.
What did you get to? You got a lot of hassle then?
No, it was just one. We took over the pub in September '97.
Yeah, and
we took the trade through the roof. We had the Lions Club based themselves there. We had 2 boxing tournaments in the function room. I had Richie Wenton, the world super middleweight champion, come to the pub. Ernie Shavers, one of the hardest punching heavyweights of all time, come to the pub. Rob Norton, the world cruiserweight champion, come to the pub. Bunny Johnson, the first black British heavyweight champion, come to the pub. Paul Barber, Denzel, I don't know if he was an host, my friend, he came to the pub, and had lots of ex-football players, Villa, Birmingham City football players, friends of mine, that I'd met in the Dubliner. They came. We had a quiz night. We had some great nights, karaoke nights, discos. So we took the pub, like I said, from nothing
struggling to
somewhere, and we were getting a good living. My business partner, he wasn't living at the pub. He lived out in Tamworth. He had a beautiful house in Wilnecote, and on the 19th of July 1998, we had the racketeers demand protection money, and they wanted to take over the doors and everything else, and they wanted protection money. Now I belt the royalty out of respect. I belt the no man out of fear. I can't do it, Dave. I'd rather die standing on my feet than live crawling on my belly.
Yeah,
I won't do it, you know. So told them no. Do you understand? Go away and play them violent games somewhere else.
Yeah.
Don't be bringing it on my doorstep. Because that's what they rule. They bully people, so it's violence what they thrive on.
What were they thinking you would do? So yeah.
Anyway, well, a lot of businesses were bowing down.
I bet. They're not from.
Well, my ex-business partner, he was ex-French Foreign Legion, Medal of Honor when he won the Croix de Guerre, ex-boxing champion, kickboxing champion, a proper hard case, and then my background with the boxing and on the doors and stuff. So I thought the two of us together, we could, and I was very fortunate that the pub was frequented by a lot of ex-boxers. We used to joke, don't ring that bell for last order.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Don't ring that bell. The pub is too many pubs, don't ring the bell. Anyway, I was very fortunate, that the pub was full of good people, ex-military people as well. I had an ex-paratrooper working for me, John Gerrity, he was maintenance, and a lot of ex-military men drank in the pub.
Yeah.
And good people, really good people, And that demand was put in on the 19th of July, 1998. Now, I said to my business partner, I said, listen, I'm a licensee. I'm not a vigilante. He said, let's take it down to them, Joe. I said, no, leave it to me. Let the police deal with this. I'm a licensee for a pub. Do you understand? I've got a second bite of the apple.
Yeah.
My first bite of boxing was took from me because of a car crash. So now I'm getting a second bite of the apple. Some people don't get one bite of the apple. I'm now on my second bite. And I don't want this to fall apart. I'm earning good money. I've got a good life, a good living. And I said, let the police deal with this, Tommy. We're businessmen now. He's Belfast. He's grown up in violence, the troubles in Belfast. So an ex-military French Foreign Legion. So he understands. And I said, no, Tommy, just leave it. Let the police deal with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the following week, the 26th of July, 1998, the threats were coming in. The phone calls were coming in, and obviously they were drinking, sniffing the cocaine and filling themselves full of bravado. So I got a phone call from another publican. He said, Joe, these gangs are gathering. They're going to attack you. So at that stage I thought, well, what do I do? So I phoned the police. I phoned a sergeant that I knew, a man called Andy Gilbert, a fine police officer. People slate the police. People say, oh, they're no good, this and that and everything else. Listen, there's no good and good in all walks of life. You get bad plumbers, good plumbers, bad doctors, good doctors. Good policemen, bad policemen. But the police are there to serve us. Do you understand? To keep the peace. To look after the community. Right? And I get people slating the police all the time. But what's the first thing they say when the shit hits the fan? The shit hits the fan for a lot of people. Phone the police. Do you understand? You know? So, like I said, I'm not a vigilante. I wasn't going to take it to them. Tommy wanted to take it to them. In hindsight, I probably regret that I didn't. Because I waited for the police. I phoned Andy Gilbert. Andy said, I'm on my way to you, Joe. He said, I radio the stations. He said, I'll get the police out to these pubs, disperse these gangs. As he was on his way to me, he got sent to a Mickey Mouse alarm call on the Bromford. Half an hour later, there was 37 men on my car park, armed with hatchets, machetes, a handgun and a shotgun. And there was a 25-minute pitch battle. 55 minutes before the first policeman arrived. Now, for anybody that knew the Lyndhurst, the police station in Erdington, 800 yards, 900 yards away, you'd walk it in 3-4 minutes. 55 minutes, right? Now,
do you think they chose not to come?
No, and what it was they had an armed response unit ready that day as well. They knew there was men coming with guns. What it was they thought there's two gangs, the gang at the Lyndhurst and the gang from the Castlevale estate, and these particular pubs are going to attack. Let them just butcher each other and leave them, not risk any police officers. But it wasn't two gangs. It was two publicans and the patrons of their pub. Do you understand? Being attacked by a gang. I'm not going to name the gang. I'm not going to glorify them. Even the man that shot me, I never named him on my book. I'm not going to glorify him. But who I will glorify is the man that took 2 bullets for me. A man called Steve Dalton. Bravest man I've ever seen in my life. I've met a lot of brave men, but I watched this man run at the guns. Now, he said it was a moment of madness. His wife and sister was in the pub, and if them scum had got in the doors, his wife and sister would have suffered. And he ran at the bullets. I hid behind a wall. The only reason I got shot was because I stepped out. The guy had fired 3 shots from the handgun. 2 hit my pal. It jammed after 3 shots, and he threw it on the floor. Right? When I saw the gun being thrown on the floor, a man called Tim O'Regan, an ex-British soldier, a man that had fought in World War II, an old man, stepped out with his hands up. I know these people. I can stop this. As he stepped out with his hands up, I've stepped out to pull him back in. This is in the entrance to the pub. I've stepped out to pull him back in. As I stepped out to pull him back in, the lowlife that was doing the shooting was handed a sawn-off shotgun, and he blasted the shotgun 2 barrels into the hip of Tim O'Regan, blew the hip clean out of him. I was hit all around my arms and legs.
What's that feel like?
It was, the adrenaline was pumping.
I bet.
Right? The adrenaline was pumping. The fear had kicked in because you're in a gun battle with no gun. Right?
Yes.
So you're acting on adrenaline, you're acting on courage, and I don't know what it felt like because, like I said, you're full of adrenaline.
The moment.
But what I can tell you, it smelt like was the worst smell that I've ever smelt in my life. Now, I've been in gyms where the stench of old training gear, the stench of sweat, you know. I've worked on my uncle's farm and I've smelt manure. You know, I've gone to get the horse manure from my dad when he used to grow the roses, when we used to go down to the stables and get the horse manure. So I've smelt a lot of shit in my life. I've smelt a lot of horrible stenches in gyms in my life, but I've never smelt the stench like burning skin, you know. Steve Dalton's skin burning, Tim O'Regan's skin burning, and my own skin burning, because when the lead was entering our skin, it's melting the skin. So you've got that stench of burning skin, and it singed. And I just, oh my God, the smell of it was horrific.
I bet.
You know, so, Dave, you've been in the military. I'm sure you've smelt the stench I'm talking about. But when it was in a closed entrance to a pub, you know, it was rotten.
What happened to police when they got there then?
When they got there,
had it all stopped or what?
Well, I was very fortunate. Like I say, there was a lot of people in the pub that fought. Women as well. Women fought, you know, side by side against this attacking gang that were armed with hatchets and machetes, a handgun and a shotgun. And the bravery of the customers in the pub, the bravery of my business partner, we were able to keep them at bay. And eventually they dispersed and the police came. It was headlined in the newspaper. It said the battle at the Lyndhurst made Braveheart look like a Walt Disney film. It was an horrific battle. The ambulances couldn't get up into the car park. I had to walk across my car park to go to hospital with Tim O'Regan. They carried him out on the stretcher. He was in a bad way. And we went in the ambulance up to Good Hope Hospital. And I had to walk across the car park. There was like squelching of pools of blood as I'm walking across my car park. And as I got into the Good Hope Hospital in the back of the ambulance, one of the other ambulance drivers came to the ambulance to talk to the driver of my ambulance. And he said, we've got the members of both gangs from the Lyndhurst in the hospital. And I looked at it, I said, both gangs? There was no gangs. There was a gang attacked my pub. I said, I've been wounded. Tim O'Regan's wounded. Is there a police presence in that hospital? He said, there is, yeah. So when we went into the hospital, I'm sitting in the hospital waiting to be attended. Tim O'Regan was obviously priority. He was badly shot.
Bleeding.
He was in a bad way. Blessings of God, he survived. When I was in the hospital, two men walked past me and put their fingers to my forehead like they were shooting me in the head. I didn't know who these people were that attacked me because they're all balaclavaed up and masked up. The only one that wasn't wearing a mask was the guy that actually done the shooting. Right? I've looked into a lot of men's eyes over the years, standing on doors and in boxing rings. And I've looked into brave men's eyes. Do you understand? This man was an evil man. And I looked into his evil eyes because he shot an old man to get to me. So when I'm in the hospital, these two guys walked past doing that to me. I didn't know who they were. So I've jumped up and I'm now fighting in the foyer or in the casualty of the hospital, you know. And it was a bad day. It was a bad day. 26th of July 1998. It was a bad day.
So with that in mind, and have you ever talked about that stuff publicly? I don't know. Is this the first time you chatted about it, or?
I'd done an interview a while back and I spoke about it. You know, it's not something that I'd like to speak about all the time, but it's life. You know, these things happen in life, not just in the movies. I was a bit naive when it happened to me, even though I'd grown up. You know, I'd grown up standing on doors, and I was worldwide wise person, but travelling the world boxing and that. When the demand for the protection money was put on me, I thought, this only happens in the movies. I didn't expect it to happen to me. But when it did happen to me, it was a harsh reality check, you know. And then that battle was an even harsher reality check. This is the world we live in, you know. Unfortunately, when you switch on the television or you open the newspapers, it's a violent world.
It's a cesspit right now.
It's a violent world.
What's going on?
You know, and it just seems to be history keeps repeating itself. You know, and it's tragic. And there's children suffering around the world, you know, and children are our future. I don't have any children. I've got nephews and nieces. I know you said you don't have any children, but no child should suffer.
No, not like
children don't make wars.
No, I know.
Unfortunately, they're the victims of wars.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of innocent victims of wars. You've been in the military, so you've had your fair share of campaigns. But we live in a violent world. You know, there's so much horrors every day. Have you
ever watched the film Einstein? I think is it Einstein I keep saying about, or am I on about a fucking other one? With Albert Einstein, basically when he made the atomic bomb. The reason
Oppenheimer.
Is it? There's one before, I think, when he talks about
the Irish actor Cillian Murphy.
Is it? No, this is a different one. This one, who's the actor for him? It's World War II. When he made the, or is it the new? It's one of them. But he talks about his decision to make it was only he was only able to do when he realised that at a principle level, like a fundamental level, force can only be overcome by equal or more. I think that's what I remember hearing that, thinking quite a logical mind.
If you look at the evolution of man and women, our evolution, right? We started off as cavemen. Well, they say we started off as gorillas, right? And then we evolved into cavemen and cave women. So they were killing each other with sticks and rocks and everything else, right? Then they evolved into bow and arrows and knives. Then they evolved into muskets. Then they evolved like bow and arrows and muskets. Then they evolved into cannon and tanks, and then they've evolved again now to nuclear weapons.
So further now, drones.
So the evolution of our human race is weaponry and how we kill. They say the wheel.
Control.
The wheel. Oh yeah, the wheel is to get the tanks quicker to the front. Radio. We've got the radio and communication. Yeah, to give the communications to the troops. So we're to, everything seems to be circled around. They say the improvements of medicine. Yeah, improvements in medicine is to treat the wounded from wars. Everything seems to be the evolution of the human race around war.
Yes, but especially at the moment if you look at the structure of the US with either BlackRock, there's a procurement system globally for weapons that relies on like one firm. That's just it's
one of the biggest industries in the world. Yeah, weaponry. Some of the richest people in the world.
Yeah, insane. Let's not talk about that because I want to dig into more of the Joe. So you've come off the back of that. Then, so publican, did you think about going back to owning a pub, or was that you fucking dumb?
No. After that particular incident, life became very hard in the pub trade. I kept the pub.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to let that gang.
So you still kept the pub?
Yeah, because if I'd have closed that pub, that would have glorified them.
Yeah.
They didn't beat me on the day. So if I'd have closed that pub, that meant that they would have won.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to happen, because they didn't beat me on the day. Yeah, they hurt me on the day. They hurt me severely on the day. They hurt a few other people severely on the day.
Yeah.
We gave as good as we got.
Yeah.
But the pub suffered for a while,
Yeah, I bet.
But it came back, and the people that frequented the pub, they stood strong by me and encouraged more people to come. But then the brewery I was with at the time, Allied Domec, they sold out to a company called Punch Taverns.
Yeah.
And Punch Taverns, people say, they're very, very difficult to deal with. Well, I can tell you from my own personal opinion, they are very hard to deal with, And when you're a leaseholder in a pub, and you've got a bit of freedom on spirits, or you've got a bit of freedom on ciders, or you've got a bit of freedom on the machine income, you've got some way of making a bit of a bonus on top of this beer sales. But Punch didn't want you to have any freedom on the ciders, didn't want you to have any freedom on the spirits, didn't want you to have any freedom on the machine income. And it was just too difficult to make money.
Make it work. Yeah.
And that's why the pub trade is suffering so bad in the UK. A nation of drinkers, but they're closing pubs down because the companies that have the pubs, the rates are so expensive.
Yeah.
Then the rents are so expensive. Then you've got to buy the beer off them at extortionate prices. I could have gone down to a Witherspoon's pub and bought a case of Budweiser over the counter in a Witherspoon's pub, cheaper than what I could have bought them off Punch.
Yeah.
So I was working really for nothing, and only a fool works for nothing. You'll never be idle if you work for nothing. Loads of work out there you want to work for nothing. I'm better than working for nothing.
Yep.
So then
what did you do?
Back to the security.
So who were you working to?
Back to the safety net of security, because the pub trade was very, very hard.
Yep.
You're first up in the morning, you're last to go to bed at night, and you're last to get paid. Your staff get paid before you, your bills get paid before you.
Yep.
And it was a hard income, but I enjoyed
the social side of it.
I enjoyed the customers in the pub. I had some great times. We had some wonderful people. I'm still friends with a lot of them today.
Yeah, I bet.
And I introduced a few people in the pub that got married.
Which before.
I met my own wife in the pub.
Yeah.
I met Ruth, and I'd work with a family back in Dublin, and so there was a lot of wonderful things happened in the pub.
So what was life after the pub? And so this will be what now? Early 2000s?
Well, while I was in the pub,
and
I was fighting legal battles with the brewery, and I was fighting legal battles because I was used as a scapegoat for the attack. I got charged with attempted murder, and all I done was defend myself, and I had to pay legal fees, and I used the VAT money that I'd saved to pay the VAT bill, to pay legal fees. I sold everything I really had. I sold my car, I sold my watch that my mother and father got me for my 18th birthday, I sold my ring that they got me for my 21st. I actually sold my leather coat. I had a lovely leather coat. I sold that to pay legal fees. And I was running out of money. Like I said earlier, I didn't want this gang to beat me, because if the pub had been closed, I beat the attempted murder charges. But then the brewery tried to evict me because they said that I wasn't a fit and proper person to run the pub. I was the licensee, but the headlines had that criminal landlords. I was no criminal at the time. My business partner, he had a criminal record, but he wasn't the landlord. I was the licensee. He was just a silent business partner, didn't even live at the pub, he lived in Wilnecote. So now they're saying they want me out of the pub. So they're trying to evict me from the pub. So I'm fighting legal battles with them. And I was winning because what they were doing to me was wrong.
Yeah,
I was winning. And an opportunity came up. I'd never been in trouble in my life before. I was in the part-time Irish Army, the 2nd Field Military Police, 104A527, Corporal Egan. I was in Collins's barracks in Dublin. Thursday nights and Sundays, a part-time. So I was like the Army cadets here.
Yeah.
And I done 2.5 years with them. Licensee for a pub.
What made you do the...
FEA registered for the Air Marshal. So I'd never been in trouble in my life.
Yeah.
And now suddenly I've beaten these charges with the police, and the brewery was saying that I wasn't a fit and proper person to run their pub. I was a fit and proper person. What was done to me was wrong. So they were trying to evict me. I ran out of money. A guy that worked for me at the time, his sister was seeing this crook. The guy came in, he asked could he park stolen cars in my car park. At that stage, I was at the lowest ebb of my life. Yeah, I was desperate, I was desperate. And I was at the lowest ebb of my life. And when he said, can I park stolen cars in your pub car park? I'd have let him park tanks on my car park. At that stage, I didn't care because I needed the money.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, go ahead. Anyway, he was eventually captured doing what he was doing, and I was dragged into the net because I'd allowed him to use my car park. And where I'd upset the police by beating them on the original charges, that'd be in the bonnet. And I got charged with handling stolen cars. I never had any stolen cars. They were parked in my car park. I shouldn't have allowed it. I regret ever doing it, but at the time I was desperate.
Yeah.
So they offered me a deal of handling us, and I was a bit naive. I didn't take the deal. And then they found me guilty after a court battle, and they jailed me. And while I was in jail, they added more time to my sentence to really stick the boot into me.
Why's that?
Because I exposed the West Midlands Police at the time of my attack for negligence, for letting me down.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They let me down.
Yeah.
They let my customers in my pub down. They let the community down. They let the force down. And
So how long did you get in the end?
I originally got 2.5 years, and then they tried to increase it to 7. They increased it to 4.
7?
For something that should have been a slap on the wrist.
Fucking
People are getting community service for more.
Yeah.
They'd found 4 cars on my car park. 4 cars that they said were stolen. There's no way I should have got that time. Do you understand? But because they wanted to make an example of me because I'd upset them.
Yeah.
They gave me 2.5. Then they tried to increase it to 7, increased it to 4. But I got out on my first parole attempt, and...
So how long did you have to do?
2 years.
That's all right. What was that like?
It wasn't bad for me, but it was bad for my mother and father, and my family and my friends because, I let them down. I let a lot of my family down. I let my friends down. I'm not saying I was a pillar of the community or a pillar of my family, but I was a decent person, and to suddenly end up in prison, I just let them all down,
Yeah.
And I was a bit ashamed, to tell you the truth. I was ashamed of myself, but
That's a big man to say that.
Yeah, I was ashamed of myself. But when I was in prison, I got myself into good shape.
Yeah.
And I came out, and
boxing's back in.
I boxed again. Yeah, I boxed again.
What we were talking about off camera about the punch bag.
Yeah, when I was in one, I'd done 3 prisons, but when I was in one of the prisons, the gym officer, Jock, powerful, I think he was the British squat champion, you know, and big, powerful man. He said to me, he said, Joe, you don't remember me, do you? I said, no. He said, you introduced me to my wife in the Dubliner pub. So I'm sort of thinking to myself, I hope they're getting on.
Yeah, please.
So, yeah. I said, how's the marriage? He said, wonderful. Wonderful. He said, thank you for that. So the happy days. Yeah. Less than 2 weeks later, I'm the gym orderly in the prison.
Man.
Best job in the jail, right? So I'm happy. There's another gym orderly in there. His nickname was Bam Bam, right? Another ex-fighter. And when we both came out of prison, we both fought again. And so I'd asked to do bag work in one of the previous prisons, and they said no, the Home Office wouldn't allow it because they said punching a bag breeds aggression. Load of rubbish. So now I'm in this prison, and I spoke to the gym officer, and he said, Joe, what you've got to say is that you're pursuing your career when you get out of prison, and the Home Office help you pursue your career, so they will put a bag in for you. So he wrote a letter for me, emailed a letter. So they put a bag in. They put the bag right underneath his office. So me and Bam Bam were punching the bag. His office was shaking. Boom, 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 boom. And he said the biggest mistake of his life was letting us put that. How we laughed about it, you know. When I came out of prison, I made a comeback in the boxing.
Yeah.
And there was a big write-up in the boxing news. It said, George Foreman makes the comeback after 10 years. Big Joe Egan makes the comeback after 12 years. To get mentioned in the same paragraph as George Foreman, one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, was incredible. And I won my fight in the 5th round. And I was so proud of myself. I was Joe the boxer again. I wasn't Joe the convict. I was Joe the boxer again. And I redeemed myself in front of my dad, in front of my mum, in front of my family, and in front of my friends.
Yeah.
I redeemed myself. And for my own pride, you know, because we're all proud in one way or another, you know. My own pride, I was boxing again, you know, and I thought, I'm going to have another fight. I was 38 years of age. I'm going to have another fight. I contacted Mike Tyson.
As you do.
As you do, yeah. As you do. And I asked, could I maybe go? I wasn't good enough to be a sparring partner of him anymore. He'd gone so far on and I'd gone so far back.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't good enough to be a sparring partner anymore. And I didn't go cap in hand to the man. I've never gone cap in hand to anybody. I've worked all my life. Even when I was boxing professional, I worked 3 jobs. I worked for Delta Airlines, I worked the door in the pub, and I worked the door in the nightclub. I'm box professional. You know, so I'm a working man. I've worked all my life, and I'll be working till I can't work anymore. You know, it's not that I like work. I like the rewards that work brings. I like to earn a wage. You know,
the feeling it gives you.
And
fulfillment.
Your pride.
Understand that,
right? And I'm not egotistical. Never been egotistical in my life.
There's something about a fucking hard day's work.
Yes,
and you can sit there.
You know, I used to joke with people. I say, "Listen, I don't mind doing a hard day's work for a good week's wages." You know, but I don't mind a hard day's work. You know, I'm fortunate with the security. It's not manual labour, but the long hours, you know, and sometimes when I was...
How old are you now? Not for anyone that might not know. How old are you now?
I'll be 60 in November, so I'm almost 60.
Fucking biggest 60-year-old on the country right now, for fuck's sake. Most 60-year-olds are retired and shit.
No, I'm going.
Sitting around
I'm going strong.
Hey, Valentine's is full of them. They're all fucking doing boxercise in the swimming pool.
I'm going strong.
What are you doing arms this morning, weren't you?
I done chest and arms this morning, yeah.
Fucking leave them alone, they're big enough.
You know, so I done. I train in a good gym in Birmingham, Flex Fitness in Digbeth, Big Salim Raza, and the atmosphere in the gym. There's every shape, every size, every colour.
Should be right.
And it's there's a great camaraderie in the gym.
Yeah, there is.
You know,
everyone's there doing the same thing.
We're all singing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
Same mindset.
Feel better.
And that's what. There's 2 places. Actually, there's 3 places I'm very comfortable in. Right, 3 places in my whole life.
Boxing ring.
The gym has always been a comfort zone for me.
Yeah.
The cinema has always been a comfort zone for me, and the bed.
Yeah.
Right, 3 places: the cinema, the gym, and the bed. I am at my most comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, because I enjoy my sleep. We all need sleep. I need as much beauty sleep as I can possibly get.
I
need as much beauty sleep as I can get. You know, but when I get into bed, I sleep soundly, you know. Yeah. And they say if you've got a problem sleeping, lie on the edge of the bed, you're bound to drop off.
Yeah. Right? That's the form.
No, I sleep good. I sleep good.
So what? So gym then? Let's talk about the gym. So
yes.
But I think there's another bit here, and this is soft side for anyone who's let's be honest, who's considered getting on. I mean, you're a fucking perfect example of it. Doesn't have to be the way. So what's Joe Egan at 60 looking like for a week in the gym? Like, what's exercise look like? Let's have a deep dive into that.
I go every second day if I can.
Yeah,
I don't go every day.
I know.
I go every second day.
Yeah. Time to recover.
Yeah. I'll do a little bit of weights and a little bit of cardio. Yeah. I don't punch the bags. People say, you don't do bag work. I tell you the reason why I don't do bag work, Dave. I've only got a certain amount of time in the gym. And I know if I go in and start punching the bags, people are going to come over, Joe, can I work out with you? Can you do me, show me this, show me this?
Is that why you don't do it?
Yeah. And I've only got an hour and a half when I'm in there. So I can do the cross trainer, the bike, or the roll machine. And they're self-explanatory how to use them. So no one's going to ask me for advice on how to use them. And when I do the weights, I do it my own way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the right way.
School.
I'm not saying it's the wrong way. But it's my way.
Yeah,
I don't lift heavy weights. There's guys... The guys warm up on my maximum. There's some powerhouses in that gym.
Yeah, but how old are they?
Oh, all different ages. There's a variety in the gym. I'll tell you a funny story, right? I can do an hour on the bike comfortable. I can do an hour on the Stepmaster.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can do an hour on the bike comfortable, the cross trainer comfortable, and I can do an hour on the rower. Not strenuous, just nice and comfortable, And then I do maybe half an hour weight. So I get an hour and a half in the gym. So this particular day, I'm walking in and I've got the new Stairmaster machine. So one of the big lads there, fit lad, he said, Joe, do you see the new machine? So I'm looking and I said, yeah, what is it? He said, it's called a Stairmaster. This is a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. He said, yeah, see him over there? I said, yeah. He's got the record, half an hour. I've seen you on the rower, I've seen you on the cross train, I've seen you on the bike. You could do that. Beat his record. So I went, okay. So the gauntlet was thrown down to me, right? So I said, not today. I'm not doing it today. I have to build myself up to this.
Sat there rowing, watching someone on it.
So I'm watching out this guy's on the Stairmaster, big strides, So I'm looking, I thought,
I've got that.
I could do that.
Yeah.
So the next day I come in, 2 bottles of Volvic water.
Yeah.
Big gear, get onto the Stairmaster, put the 2 bottles of Volvic water either side, right? And I could see the guy with the half an hour record. He's watching with a few of his friends, right? They're all great guys.
Yeah.
So I'm on it, 65 steps a minute, big strides. 20 minutes, and I thought, this is hard.
If it gets cheeky.
This is hard, this is hard. So I'm going for the half hour. So I'll get the half hour. And I thought, keep going, Joe. Keep going. You've been a professional athlete.
I was going to say.
You've gone through pain barriers. Keep going, right? 45 minutes in. Both me bottles of water are gone. I'm wringing wet. I look like I've been hosed down by a fireman. The sweat's pumping out of me. 45 minutes. Keep going, Joe. Keep going, right? Keep going. Really double his record.
Yeah.
Right?
Destroy.
So I got the hour.
Yeah.
I could see them looking. I could see them all looking in the gym, not staring, but glancing. And, checking and watching. So I stepped off the machine. Now, as I stepped off the machine, my legs gave way. Right? I don't know how I kept myself up.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to fall over.
Yeah.
Because if I fall over, it's took away from the hour that I've just done. I've made a fool of myself. Don't fall flat, Joe, on your face. Right? So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? My legs are going. My legs are gone. What am I going to do? And there's a bicycle.
Just going to sit on it, lean on it.
Beside the machine. So I thought, one big stride. I could get onto that bike. Just one big stride. Just go through my mind. Don't fall flat on your face, Joe. Big stride. Got onto the bike. Crush my nuts.
Dead right onto it.
Oh, God. So now I'm like, the pain. Right? Cycle, Joe. Pedal the bike.
Just get it moving.
Right, pedal the bike. You could see the pain in my face because my nuts were crushed on the seat of the bike because when I jumped onto it. Right? Jesus. So I'm pedaling the bike. So one of the lads comes over. Are you okay, Joe? You must have seen the pain. You must have seen the pain in my face. So I went, probably a high-pitched voice. Yeah. Just get the lactic acid out of the legs. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, I pedalled. I don't know, 10 minutes, just till the pain eased in my nuts, right? So I stood off the bicycle, left the gym, put my top on, covered myself up, went home, right? Lay on the bed. My legs were killing me. I couldn't get out of the bed the next morning. I had to roll out. I put pillows on the floor, roll out the floor. Sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, bad.
Bad. 4 days.
Really?
4 days. My legs were so painful for 4 days. I went back into the gym 4 days later, and I walked past that machine, and I done that.
Yeah, you're like, nah.
Pure evil.
Not even believe it.
Not
How old were you then?
Oh, that's about 15 years ago. So I would have been about 45 at the time.
So let's dig into this. I'm well into my fitness.
Haven't done that machine since. Don't go anywhere near it. The record's been beaten since.
Yeah.
You know, but I held the record for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I see lads on it now that doing it for fun.
Yeah, but you've got with the greatest respect, is the age thing's massive. Like, you don't see many 6-year-olds smashing that shit out right now.
Oh, that was 40. I was 45.
Actually, 45. I'm not far off. But I guess what was a typical day at your height of your boxing career look like fitness wise? Just what was
right?
What sort of stuff were you doing distance wise?
I never liked to run. That was my biggest downfall, right? I never liked running. My dad used to say to me, drag yourself out of bed, son. He said, it's like dragging yourself off the deck when you get put down. I said, Dad, no one's ever going to put me down. My chin's granite. My legs are strong. No one's going to put me down. I remember the first time I got put down in the boxing ring, knocked out as such. 1987 in the Acropolis Games in Athens. I've beaten a Canadian and I've beaten an Italian, and I'm now in the semi-finals against the Greek. My left eye was badly damaged. It was nearly closed. And I shouldn't have passed the medical. But the Greek had only had one fight. He got a bye in the first round. He won his first fight. If they'd have given him a bye with my fight, he'd already been into the final with one fight to box a man that had had 3. As it turned out, when he beat me, he got into the final. He beat the Dutchman, Arnold van der Leyden, who had won 2 Olympic bronze medals. So I lost to the eventual gold medalist, Georgia Stephanopoulos. But the Greek doctors passed me to fight. My corner men, Mickey Hawkins and Jerry Hanna, said, Joe, your eye's too badly damaged. You're not fighting. I said, the doctor told me I'm okay to fight. I let my heart rule my head, and I didn't listen to them. I said, I'm fighting. If I win this fight, I'm in the final. I had no chance of winning. I had as much chance as a snowball in hell, right? But I got in, and as fighters do, I gave it my best shot. I got through the first round. I went back to my corner. My left eye was completely closed. They wanted to retire me on my stool. I said, I'm not quitting on my stool. Winners never quit and quitters never win. I'm not quitting on my stool. I'm going out for round 2. I went out for round 2. I didn't see the punch coming. I'd probably been hit by harder punches, but I didn't see this punch coming because I was blindside, left eye completely closed, and I'm on the deck. I don't remember being hit. I don't remember being knocked out. I don't remember being put down. I'm lying on my back, flat on my back, and I'm doing this. I'm looking for my bed sheets. I'm in bed. I'm asleep, but I'm looking for my bed sheets. True as God, right? God struck me down. I'm looking for my bed sheets.
On the fucking canvas?
On the canvas in the boxing ring.
You didn't have cameras then, did you?
I'm lying on my back and I'm doing this. I'm looking for my bed sheets. I rolled onto my side, left eye closed, right eye partially open, and I see the referee go, 5. I'm thinking, what's he doing in my bedroom? Dave, I kid you not, right? So from the time he hit me on the chin, bang, to the time I fell, to the time I'm lying flat on my back doing this,
for the quilt,
turning over at the left-hand side, at least 15 seconds I was asleep.
Fucking hell.
When I realised I'm in a fight, I'm on the deck, I got to my feet, but at that stage, Mickey Hawkins and Jerry Hanna, my cornermen, they thought I was calling them into the ring. I wasn't. I was looking at my bedsheets. So when I got to my feet, I fell into their arms. I got beat on my feet.
Yeah.
I got stopped, but I got beat on my feet. And I won a bronze medal. And I eventually, like the gold medalist, he beat me. He won the gold medal. But I remember phoning my dad. I said, Dad, I won a bronze medal. Well done, son. Fantastic achievement. I said, Dad, remember you told me about getting put down? You know, in every boy's eyes, his dad's the toughest man on the planet. I never thought my dad could ever get put down, but he must have been for him to know this feeling.
Yeah.
Right? I said, remember you told me, Dad, about getting put down, You know, dragging yourself up the deck is like dragging yourself out of bed. You got put down, son. I said, I did, Dad. I got put down. But I got up. I got beat on my feet, Dad.
Trying to search for the quilt.
Yeah. I said, I got up, Dad. I got beat on my feet. Well done, son. But I said, Dad, it was exactly like you described. I said, I was asleep in my bed, comfortable. I said, for 15 seconds before I realised.
Yeah, what's going on? It's weird, isn't it? The only thing I can say, I've been knocked, because I race motocross.
Yes.
And I've knocked fucking so many times. The point, it's not healthy, and you get used to it. I think the fear goes then, because I was so apprehensive about, I remember the moment, fucking bike's gone sideways and I'm just pinned, and you're like, oh, and then all it is, the first time I woke up under the fucking tape.
Yes. With
the worst wind. Have you been winded?
I've been winded, yeah.
Fucking hell, right. And the back wheel's still turning off my helmet. And there's all the lads still going by. And I remember just sitting there going, literally nearly in tears, because you can't get that breath. As soon as you get your breath, you're like, I come round. My old man at the time has come over, snapped this exhaust in half. He's like, I just remember stuff. I was like, didn't remember much then. He's like, you're all right. It's fucking.
How long were you out for?
I don't know, maybe 10 seconds, if that, not long. I just come round, but it's
strange feeling.
Like you just don't
it's
remember
funny.
Going out.
You've reminded me of a story about being winded. I've never told this story on camera before, right? When I worked the doors, I used to finish work sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on the nightclubs on Leeson Street. There was 13 nightclubs on the one stretch of street, or wine bars, and they'd open till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I used to go to the amateur boxing gym Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Right? But we would spar Monday or Wednesday. We never sparred Sunday morning because lads would be out Saturday night and that, but we'd go to the gym on a Sunday morning. So I come into bed about 5 o'clock in the morning. My dad would call me, you know, to go to the boxing gym, 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'd get up and we'd get the 2 buses to the gym. We'd get the number 3 bus from Ringsend into the city centre of Dublin, O'Connell Street. Then we get the 19 or the 22 bus outside Cleary's up to the North Avenue. And then we train on a Sunday morning. Then we get the 2 buses back, the 19 or the 22, on the what was the name of that road? The National Stadium. I can't remember the name of the road. And I'm into the city centre. We get the number 3 bus home. So this particular morning, Dad gave me this shout, and he said, "Go on, get yourself ready, son. Come on, go to the gym. You and your brother go to the boxing gym." I said, "Okay, Dad." He said, "I'm just going to get myself a wash." He said, "I'll be coming down. Your mother's doing me breakfast, doing his breakfast." So as I'm coming down, I was starving. And my mum was doing my dad's fry. So I said, "Oh, Mum, give us something, please. Will you? Something?" "No," she said, "you're going to the boxing gym. You can't be eating anything." She said, "You're going to "Oh, Mum, I'm starving, please." So she put a fried egg onto a piece of bread. And Dad was coming down the stairs. So I pushed the fried egg into the sandwich. Down the hatch, quick as I could, right? "Are you eating anything?" "No, Dad, no, not eating anything. No, not eating anything." So I got to the No Boxing Club. And Tony Mann, my trainer, trained a lot of great champions. He said, "Got a heavyweight here from the country, Joe, up from the country. And we're in the city, Dublin. Yeah. Come from the country. He wants to do a bit of sparring." "Oh, no, Tony. I only got into bed at 5 o'clock. Only had a couple of hours sleep. I said, we don't do sparring on Sunday morning." "Joe, you don't get the options many times to spar with heavyweights. Take advantage of this opportunity now. You're sparring with the heavyweight." I said, "Tony, I'm so tired." Yeah. "Okay, we do body sparring. No headshots." Oh, biggest mistake. Anyway, hit me a body shot. Bang! The egg came up. Landed on the ring apron. May God strike me down, Dave. Still to this day, it was the full, like that. The full white of the egg. Bang, flat. The yellow was broke. But I hadn't chewed the white part. The lads all joked and started laughing. They still joke to this day. They said the yellow wasn't even broke. So my trainer looked at me. I looked. He said, "What's that?" I said, "Tony, I swallowed it without chewing it."
The old man was going to bash me off.
Yeah, I swallowed it without chewing it. And the whole white of the egg, flat on. But the body shot hit me.
They're the worst.
I still get stick to this day. Any of the Dublin lads that were in that gym that day, and even the country lad that hit me, they will remember because they still talk about that. Egan's egg coming up.
Egg.
Yeah.
Who's that's a good one. Are you still a good friends of any of the people you boxed with?
All of them. So Cathal Ryan, who I boxed in the Irish at finals, me and him were working in the club together. He was head doorman, Cathal Ryan, and we battered each other in the Irish finals in 1984, right? We battered each other in the final. Went to work on the door of the nightclub, all busted up. People coming in going, must have been a bad row tonight. We were after boxing each other, you know, and he one of my best friends still to this day. He's in Minneapolis now. He lives in Minneapolis. He married a girl called Leslie. She was over studying in Ireland, and they got married and were at the wedding, and went to his wedding. He's one of my best friends, and still to this day I speak to him regularly on the phone. Most recently, one of Britain's Olympians, Bobby Wells.
Right.
He beat me Ireland versus England, and he died this year, sadly, only a few months ago. He won the gold in he won the bronze in the 1984 Olympics. Him and Lennox Lewis got the bronze medal. Lennox got the gold in 1988. But Bobby Wells only died recently. I used to keep in touch with Bobby all the time. Another man that I boxed against England. I lost twice to England. It's hard for an Irishman to lose to England at anything. At anything. Even at Ludo, we want to beat the English. The rivalry that the Irish and the English have, right? Yeah. But I lost twice to England. Guy Williamson beat me Ireland versus England. He was the world amateur police champion at the time. He went on to be a barrister, still works as a barrister now today. And he was a policeman, world amateur police champion, studied and then became a barrister. And still speak to Guy. I bumped into Guy at the Bare Knuckle in the Oak 2, the BKB. Yeah. He was in with Frank Maloney, and I've been friends with Frank a long, long time. And Kelly Maloney now, but he's
talking to this then?
He's a wonderful person. So I bumped into Guy. We stayed in touch, exchanged numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I speak to loads of people that I boxed. I got boyhood friends. Yeah, still to this day. That's the great thing about this sport. Combat sports, right? But I just say the boxing because that was my combat sport. But the respect that you have for yourself, self-respect, and the respect that you have for your opponent, and that's the most important thing in life, I believe, to have self-respect and respect for others. And combat sports in particular give you that. They instill that in you. Self-respect and respect for your opponent. Male and female, I admire all fighters. But yeah, I'm still in touch with so many of my friends, good. And like I said, it's lovely. It's lovely to keep in touch,
So what were you, where were you last, when we were speaking a few weeks ago, Ireland?
I went over for the Coolmore Stud.
That was it?
Yeah, I went over. There's people over there I'm now working with, and one of the best horse stud people in the world. They've got a setup in Hunter Valley in Australia. They've got Lexington, Kentucky, and they've got Tipperary in Ireland, the Coolmore Stud, and I'm doing things at the most amazing few days. I was treated so well. I got to see some of the greatest horses that they've got there, Derby winners, British Derby, Kentucky Derby winners. I got to go into the museum and I saw the saddles that Lester Piggott had rode Derby winners in, and I was made so welcome. The Magna family are renowned for the Coolmore Stud, and the hospitality that I was shown by the people that brought me over, the friendship. Yeah. It was just beautiful.
So what will you be doing with those guys?
Well, it's in the pipeline. There's a few things going to be happening.
Can't say yet.
No, not yet. No, when it happens,
TBC.
Stick
a pin in that one. Yeah. Mate, films. We got over here. We share this love. I fucking love nothing more.
I love movies.
Than just like tonight, I fucking works mental training loads. I'm like you, mate. Just get me horizontal. Stick a film on. So my mum's just lost my step.
Answer me this. Dave. Right. Answer me this. Any other time than watching a film?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy popcorn?
Do I fuck?
What? When I'm watching a movie,
I'm not even sure I do eating popcorn.
You don't eat popcorn watching a movie?
Well, maybe, yeah, but I'm not sure I enjoy. I think I do. I know what you're doing because it's that.
See, when I'm watching a movie,
what have you got mixed?
No, salted. Right? I love popcorn when I'm watching a movie.
You don't have sweet popcorn.
What you just 3 sugars. Yeah, but don't I prefer the salted popcorn. But salted coffee. I had it over there. Put it over there.
Fucking no, it's gone, mate.
It's behind the screen.
It's not. It's eating.
What's left of it? But no. When I watch a movie, popcorn I love popcorn.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't really be bothered with popcorn any other time than watching a film.
Do you make it yourself or are you buying that?
Oh, my brother makes it. He when we watch a film in the home, he makes it. But when I go to the cinema, I get the big tub, salted popcorn.
Oh, that big?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
There's more spilt because when I put my hands in, it's like a JCB. The hand goes in.
It's gone.
I get it into the mouth.
Mate, so you go in, I only go the Odeon. I ain't going anywhere else because they've got the seats you can lie down in.
Yeah.
And then you normally got a bit of experience. So
I go to Cineworld. My friend Paul is one of the bosses with Cineworld UK, and they look after me. And
that's good. Where's that over in Tamworth? No, where are you?
No, any Cineworld in the UK. Yeah, I've done a couple of premieres in Cineworld.
Yeah, we're going to get onto it.
Yeah,
you've been on the film. What was the last film you watched in the cinema?
What's the last film I watched?
Oh, I know mine, mate. It's fucking well good.
Hang on, let me think.
Well, you just go to premieres, really, didn't you? So
no, I've been to the cinema, but there's so many good ones on telly now with Netflix and all.
The Maverick, the film.
I saw Maverick.
So, but what was the second one? Last one, Gladiator 2.
I watched Gladiator 2 on the telly.
Oh, mate.
I didn't enjoy anywhere near Gladiator 1.
What?
No, Gladiator 1 was
no, I get you, mate. When he got the fucking shield out and shit, I was stood on the seat next to my mum. I took my mum to watch it.
He's an Irish actor. The guy that played Gladiator.
What, the first one?
No, Russell Crowe played the first one. Yeah, I've worked with Russell Crowe in a movie called Prize Fighter. He calls me Joe in the film. So two movies, I get called my own name in. Robert Downey Jr. calls me Big Joe in Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. calls me Big Joe.
Sherlock?
Yeah, I've done the Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2.
Yeah, you did.
With Guy Ritchie.
What a film.
Brilliant.
What a film.
What an experience.
I think you made the film, to be honest, mate.
Listen, thank you for the compliment. A funny story, when the first film I ever did, Cass Pennant, who published my book, Pennant Publication, he gave me a chance to be in Cass, and me and Ruth, we'd done the landlord and the landlady of the Britannia pub in the movie.
Yeah.
Nonso Anusi, the actor, played Cass. There's some brilliant actors in the film. Tama Hassan, the actor, he said to me, he said, Joe, you got a great presence on screen. He said, you fancy an acting career? And I just jokingly said, I acted my way through a boxing career. I said, I'd give it a go. I said, I've done a couple of adverts in Ireland. And he introduced me to his agent, a lady called Camilla Story. And she said, look, they're looking for an actor to play McMurdo in the Sherlock Holmes film to fight Robert Downey Jr. So I went for the casting. The casting agent said, look into the camera lens, give an intimidating stare, say these lines. So I did that, and they went, wow, you've got an amazing, intimidating stare. I said, I've had to look into the eyes of Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis trying to intimidate them. To intimidate a couple of casting agents is easy. Anyway, I got the part. They sent me to the read-through in Claridge's. My friend Richard Grimes, he drove me down to London, and we went to Claridge's Hotel. Richard shouldn't have actually been in the room. This is the funny story. He's sitting in the corner of this magnificent room with a big, big oval table. I'm sitting next to Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law, Rachel McAdams, Eddie Marsan, the hierarchy of Warner Brothers, sitting opposite Guy Ritchie, sitting next to Joel Silver, the CEO of Warner Brothers. They've introduced themselves. Then it's gone round the table, and it's come to Jude Law playing Watson.
What?
Robert Downey Jr. He's a brilliant actor. He's my brother's favourite actor, Jude Law.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah,
he's my brother's favourite actor.
Like that.
You know, Robert Downey Jr. playing Sherlock Holmes, with Jude Law playing Watson.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. playing Sherlock Holmes.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
Eddie Marsan playing, who did he play? Whatever, I can't remember who he played. And then it come to me. And I said, Joe Egan playing McMurdo. Then it went around the room, the different people involved with the film. So I'm sitting there thinking, Richard Grimes shouldn't be in this room, right? He's sitting over in the corner. So going around the room, eventually it landed on Richard Grimes. He stands up, he stands up, fair play to him, he fronted it. Right? He fronted it, Mayo, man. Right? Some neck. He stood up, he goes, Richard Grimes, personal bodyguard to Joe Egan. And the room erupted into laughter. Right? The room erupted into laughter. So they took it in good jest. And I just looked at Richard. Richard's one of my very close friends. Anyway, we travelled in the minibus to do the practice fight. Right. Guy Ritchie and Robert Downey Jr. He was so lovely, both of them, so lovely. Guy said, Joe, I've been trying to get you in one of my films for a long time. I said, you're joking? No way. And then Robert Downey Jr. goes, Joe, you come with a fearsome reputation. I couldn't believe these people even knew me. But they knew me through Mike Tyson. Yeah. So I was completely humbled. Guy Ritchie and Robert Downey Jr. knowing me. Like, wow. So next of all, guy said, has your agent told you how much you're getting for the fight scene, Joe?
Oh, yeah, go on.
I said, no, guy. I said, I never even asked. Well, he said, I'm going to tell you what you're getting.
Freebie.
No.
Go on.
No. I'm not going to say the amount.
Oh,
right? But let me tell you something now. It was a lot more than I got on any of my professional fights. A lot more.
What was your top professional fight? You got to give us a stick.
No. Anyway, it was a lot more than I'd earned in my boxing career.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get exclusive.
So, next of all, I said, look, the guy, that was deadly serious. The guy, that's more money than I earned in any of my professional fights. More money than I earned in all my professional fights.
Fake fight.
I said, for that money, I said, Robert Downey Jr. can really hit me. You can kick me as well if you want to. And he took it for the laugh and he said, Joe, I don't want you being beaten up. I said, I've been beaten up for a lot less. I'll do a few weeks in hospital for that money. Anyway, I didn't have to get beaten up in the film. I get put into a prison scene that wasn't in the script. Guy put it in personally. And I get called Big Joe by Robert Downey Jr. And it immortalised me on screen. My mother was so proud because she never wanted me to box. No mother wants to see her son being beaten up. I've been beaten up in a lot of fights, and I was so happy.
Yeah, that's a cool moment.
It was one of the best moments.
When you go past that, could you? What's next then? Like, because you are shit hot in these sort of films.
I got into part two when Guy took a shine to me. He's a big boxing fan, and he took a shine to me, and he gave me the part in part two.
Yeah,
I haven't pursued the parts in the series that he's doing, The Gentleman or the one that he's doing now with Tom Hardy. I should really, but I've just been so busy with the Bodyguard work. And,
surely he's pay better.
Well, the thing is, I reckon if I was to go for the casting, I would get a part in them. I just haven't had the time with work. I've been here, there and everywhere. Like, as I said, I work for 3 or 4 businessmen doing the bodyguarding, and I'm travelling a bit, and I just haven't had the time. I haven't been given the opportunity to turn it down, but I haven't pursued the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm sure
we all know you've got to pursue some of it.
Because there's so many big guys, experienced actors going for these parts now. Mobland, The Gentleman, brilliant.
Mate.
Brilliant.
I was pissed off when it ended.
My friend Jeff Bell, he plays one of the baddies in it.
Really?
Against Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Right, so Jeff Bell and Pierce Brosnan are rivals. Tom Hardy is Pierce Brosnan's henchman. Anyway,
Tom, and then you got the other guy, and your mate's who then?
Jeff Bell.
Who is?
Good guy. He plays Pierce Brosnan's advocate, his enemy.
Oh yeah, fucking hell. He's
brilliant.
Mate.
He's great at playing the baddie.
Unbelievable.
I've worked with him. He's my friend. I speak to him regular.
Yeah,
he's
mate,
my friend.
He's fucking amazing.
He's great at playing the baddie.
Whole series.
He is fantastic. And when you meet him, he's the complete opposite. He's such a lovely gentleman. Really? But he's good at playing
when he turns it on the camera.
Playing a vicious stuff.
What's Brosnan's wife's name? She's fucking
Helen Mirren.
Yeah, what a part.
Incredible.
Because I like her in a lot of other stuff.
She's brilliant. She's a brilliant actress.
In that, she is literally like
Pierce Brosnan. He played James Bond, right? I loved the James Bond movies. I loved it. He's a great actor.
Yeah, but they've accused him.
I don't mind the accents.
I don't give a shit. I think it's class.
I don't criticise acting. Listen, who watches a film or a documentary or a series to criticise?
Thank you.
Enjoy it.
If you're one of these wankers in them comments,
listen, these ones that look for faults.
Yeah.
Why were you looking for faults?
I think at the time of Mrs. She was like, someone's accused him of not having a good enough Irish accent. I'm like, who the fuck has put that on a spectrum or a performance chart?
He plays a great part.
Mega part, mate.
He plays a great part.
Real good.
He's playing
this is age kicking and he's lost some memory.
Yeah. And I'm ashamed of myself. I should be able to. Nassim Hamed's. They're doing the movie about Nassim Hamed, right?
Yeah.
They're doing his life story, right? And his trainer, right? His trainer, Dublin man, right? Pierce Brosnan playing him in the film.
That'd be good.
And his name is, and I'm ashamed.
He's been in the head loads.
Oh God, he trained so many great champions. He's from Ringsend, where I'm from. His brother John was our lifeguard. I know his two sons, John and Dominic Brendan Ingle, right? Excuse me for not being able to remember it there and then, right? Brendan Ingle, a great trainer. He has trained so many great champions. Nassim Hamed was just one.
Yeah.
He trained Johnny Nelson to the World Cruiserweight Championship, Buster Keaton to the British Cruiserweight Championship, Eshan Pickering to British and European Champion. He trained so many great fighters. He trained so many great fighters in the Winkerbank gym in Sheffield, right? His two boys, John and Dominic, now, they're training the fighters. But Brendan was incredible, right? An absolutely wonderful, brilliant trainer. And legendary through Nassim Hamid, but through so many other champions. But they're doing his life story, Nassim's story. Pierce Brosnan's going to play Brendan.
When's that coming out?
I don't know. But I tell you what, it's going to be an incredible film.
Yeah.
You know, Nas was an incredible champion.
And showman.
Brilliant.
Just like...
Absolutely
really
brilliant.
I don't think I've really only seen anyone quite as...
Listen, he could fight.
Yeah.
He could fight. People criticised him because of his showmanship. But Muhammad Ali was the king of showmanship and one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Spectacle.
You know, Naz's jump into the ring and he was flamboyant, you know, he's posing and, you know, love him or hate him, you'd watch him fight.
Who have you got at the moment that does that? There's a guy from Birmingham, curly hair.
Oh, the Olympic silver medalist from Wolverhampton, is that him?
Name, yeah. He's quite funny. He took shit out of him.
His father used to work the door in Wolverhampton. He worked for a friend of mine, Rob. I worked with a friend of mine, Rob.
He got beaten in his second one, didn't he? Oh, I can't remember. But he's got similar stature.
What's the boy's name?
I can't remember his fucking name.
Mixed race guy.
Yeah. It's funny as shit.
He got, was it a silver medal he got in the Olympics?
Yeah, because people take the piss. I don't get this whole Olympic boxing take the piss out of it from people who can't box either.
But no, listen, boxing is the art of self-defense, right? And it's also the entertainment industry. It's also the entertainment industry, you know? It's nice when you watch a puncher getting in, knocking somebody out, right?
Yeah.
It's nice from...
That's what the heavyweights are for.
You know, yeah, but you still want to see a lot of skill rather than just somebody bang, bang, bang and it's over.
Yeah.
You want to see the skills.
What do you reckon of the Ben... Eubank fight? That was
incredible. The rematch is going to be even better.
Quite like
I didn't think that Conor could bring the weight two weights up and cap the strength that he had, being inactive for the time that he'd been inactive, you know, and he took it to Junior, Chris Eubanks Jr. 11 rounds he pushed Eubanks Jr. Non-stop. It was an incredible fight. Personally, if they'd have made it a draw, I'd have been happy.
Yeah.
Eubanks might have shaded it, but I wouldn't have argued about a draw.
Yeah.
You know, the rematch is going to be incredible. The rivalry between... I'm friends with both dads, Chris Eubanks Sr. and Nigel Benn.
He was in the back of the car.
When he stepped out of the vehicle. But he is another great showman, you know. And the fights that Nigel and Chris had in the 90s, wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Nigel Benn, one of the great punchers, and Chris Eubanks, one of the granite chins, but two exceptional fighters, exceptional. And their sons that had hard acts to follow. But I tell you what, they followed it well. They have followed it well. You know, and brilliant. Yeah. I am looking forward to the rematch. You know what fight I'm looking forward to? It's coming up soon. Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be one hell of a fight.
What do you reckon this... Is it what's his name? Messias?
Oh, no. Moses and Tamu.
Yeah.
He's a hot prospect. But I spoke to my friend Sam, right? I'm not the best at predicting fights. Probably the worst at predicting fights.
Don't listen to this.
Right, yeah, listen.
This is fucking
Anybody
terrible.
that asks me to pick the winner, bet on the opponent, right? Bet on the opponent because I have a tendency to let my heart rule my head. Do you understand? Same. And I really did genuinely think that, who was the fella that he boxed in his last fight in Tamu? Dylan White, right? Now, I expected Dylan White to test him. Dylan White has been in with some great men, right? He wasn't fit enough when he fought Joshua, but gave a great account of himself. When he got knocked out by Povetkin, he came straight back and beat Povetkin in the rematch. Former world champion, former Olympic gold medalist. He'd been in with some incredible fighters, right? So I really thought Moses is taking a big leap here. You know, he's a hot prospect. He's a young man, just turned 20. I thought it's a big test for him, and I really predicted
120 seconds.
I really predicted that it will go a good distance.
Yeah.
And after it going a good distance, I said we'll see what this Moses is all about because he's doing what's expected of him. He's putting these opponents away pretty quick.
Yep.
One American, I think, got into the second round. third round, whatever, got up a few times. But he's doing what he's supposed to do at this stage of his career. The guys have been put in front of him, and he's supposed to beat them. He's beaten them very well, exceptionally well. But I thought, Dylan White's going to test him. And I said to Sam, he's going to test him. And he started laughing. He said, Joe, Moses is going to put him away inside the round. I went, no, he's not.
Fucking.
I said, no, he's not. I said, this kid might be good.
Yeah,
but I said, I don't think he's going to, because Dylan's too proud. You know, how wrong was I?
120 seconds, wasn't it?
Took him apart.
Moves.
Right? Now, that to me was an incredible victory, right? An incredible victory. But don't forget, up until Nigel Benn fought Michael Watson, he was doing the same job, putting him away pretty quick. And then Michael Watson put up a bit of resistance. Frank Bruno was doing the exact same job, putting him away in front of him until he come up against Tim Witherspoon.
So what would
do you understand? So Moses has got to come up against somebody that isn't going to fall down and put up a good fight and hit him on the chin. Now, he's been tested in sparring. He's been tested in sparring. I've spoken to people, and he's took it well. And I really hope the boy, I hope he goes so far. I hope he fulfills his full potential, becomes undisputed champion of the world. I really hope he does. He's a lovely young man. And as I said earlier, boxing doesn't just need great fighters, it needs great ambassadors. He's a lovely...
He's got a good temperament.
He's a lovely young man, and I hope he goes all the way. But I want to see him tested in a fight, not just in sparring, right?
So who would you call? Who would you think right now?
Well, they're saying about
that's just miles away. I think.
Who?
Straight away you had online. Not this anything, but everyone's saying USAC, and you're like,
no, too good at this moment in time.
Agreed.
Not too good, too experienced,
and also
too experienced. You know, personally, Dubois has just been put away by Usyk, right? Who took him apart reasonably easy. Now, I thought Dubois put up a great fight in the first fight. I thought the 3 years difference since the last fought, Dubois is going to improve. Usyk couldn't improve anymore. I thought he's at the best he could possibly be. I spoke to Sam about it again. He said, "You're talking rubbish, Joe." Yeah, he said, "Talking rubbish." He said, "Usyk, 2 out of 2. Listen, 10 out of 10. I've been wrong probably the last 10 fights, right? If Sam gets to watch this, he will laugh so much, right? But I said Dubois' punching power. I didn't predict a win for Dubois. I predicted a better performance from him than the previous fight 3 years previous. And I thought Usyk couldn't improve, and I thought Dubois is going to give him a test. I didn't... I thought Dubois might have talked.
Next big fight, mate, I'm coming to sit with you, and I'm betting on the next fight.
Well, the next big fight, Fabio Wardley against Parker, right?
Watch that then.
Right? And same thing again, I'm letting my heart rule my head. Parker's experience... But I think Wardley can do it.
I'm fucking betting on Parker straight away, mate.
I think Wardley can do it. I just think that Wardley is going to be so hungry. I know he's inexperienced compared to Parker, very inexperienced compared to Parker. But I just think that he'll want it so much more than Parker. Now, Parker shouldn't be fighting an eliminator. Parker's after beating Zhang, and he's after beating Wilder. So he should have been getting the title shot. He had the title shot against Dubois, and then Dubois, for some reason, said he got sick. So then they put Parker in with some other chap. He stopped him in the first round after 21 hours on an aeroplane. So the guy shouldn't have been in the ring with Parker. Parker took him away and took him out in round one. But then Dubois was offered the Usyk fight. So I think he pulled out of the Parker fight to take the Usyk fight for bigger money. And the undisputed title. You know, business. Because it's the sport of business as well. Managers do the business, promoters do the business. But Parker now is fighting a third time for an eliminator. He should have had the title shot. So it's an eliminator now for whichever belt that they're going to go for.
Right.
If Usyk gives up one of the belts, whatever. But I just think Fabio Wardley, same thing again. I'm letting my heart rule my head. You know.
It's done.
Sam,
done.
You'll be betting on Parker, no doubt.
Quickly then, because we could talk on for days, mate.
There's no rush.
Couple of things. Films, mate. Back to films.
Yeah. So I've done over 60 movies. I've worked with
how many?
Over 60 films. Yeah.
Fuck.
I've worked with 4 Academy Award winners.
Yeah.
I actually sat in the green room talking to Rachel McAdams.
As you do.
As you do. And
love it.
she said, you used to box, Joe? I said, a long time ago, Rachel. She said, I'm actually reading a boxing script at the moment. I said, are you? She said, yeah. I said, what's it called? She said, Southpaw. I said, is it good? She said, very good. 2 years later, she won the Academy Award for it. But I sat in the green room chatting to her. Lovely lady. But yeah, I've worked on some big American productions.
So come on then, because this is me just being inquisitive. What's it like working on a film set? Like, I guess everyone, I haven't got a fucking clue. What is
it? It's the best feeling in the world when you see them on screen.
Yeah.
Right?
But you're all there in different parts, or like, I guess you just turn up on the day and you're doing your one bit.
Oh, they're long days. But I'm used to long days doing the security.
Yeah, but what's it like? Like, what do you stay in
Costume is funny, right? Costume is funny, right?
Yeah, go on.
I went in to get costume for Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Right? And as I walked in to get the costume, they said, did you see him leaving, Joe? And I said, who? And the guy that got the Academy Award for the Queen's Speech, the British actor that plays in...
I mean, not that good.
He plays in the films with Renée Zellweger and... what's the British actor's name? An incredible actor. He plays the lawyer in the film.
Shit with names, mate. Worse than you are.
What's Bridget Jones's Diary?
Yeah.
Renée Zellweger, Hugh Grant, and the guy she's got the love affair with as well as Hugh Grant. What's his name?
Oh, fucking with the glasses on.
Yes, yes. Come on, help me here.
I'm going to get Tom to fucking edit.
Come on, no, we've got to get his name. Got to get his name. I'm going to
say this, Tom. Just Google it and put it over my mouth.
Tom, can you think of his name?
Google actor.
Yes. Well, he was just in getting fitted for the Queen's Speech. I was the next. I missed him walking in because he was walking out the different door.
Yeah.
That you walk in was one door, walking out, and I just missed him. And I could have got to say hello to him.
So what's one of your...
So when I was getting costume fitted, we had a laugh about that, and the people that costume fitted me, they've won Academy Awards for costume, you know. So I've worked with some great people for costume.
What's the best set or one that stands out that you've sat on or been on?
Oh, the Sherlock Holmes set. They done it like the docks in the prison. It was on the docks, the Kent docks, and they done it in the prison. That was an incredible set. I've worked on some films actually in.
And what's it like? Prison. Do you fuck your lines up or not? Or
I've been very lucky. I haven't had to do many retakes, you know. I've been very, very lucky with my lines because I don't have big scripts to read, you know. My lines are sort of small. But
when the camera comes, like if I tried to remember it and the camera's on, I'll be like, oh, fuck, I just forgot it.
I've only messed up a couple of times, like, you know.
It must just get funny, though, with the B-roll and stuff.
Oh, no, they're very good. They're very good. They're very understanding, you know, the people you work with. I've been very lucky. Everybody's been nice to me. You know, the directors have been nice.
Not surprised.
Oh, listen, I pride myself on my manners, Dave, you know, the actors have been wonderful. As I said, I've worked with 4 Academy Award-winning actors.
Yeah.
I've worked with some brilliant talent, you know, directors of photography, directors.
So
everybody's been great. It's so wonderful.
60 films.
Over 60 movies, a few TV series as well.
Yeah, how long? Over what time span? That's about 20
years.
The
first film I done was 2009, so 16 years. 16 years.
16 years.
I did that TV series, Brassic. I did the first series of Brassic.
4 films a year. No, it's not.
Yeah, well, one year I was a full-time actor. For 1 year.
What was that like?
It was incredible.
Yeah,
I worked with the last film that Rutger Hauer ever did. Remember The Hitcher? The actor that done The Hitcher, Rutger Hauer, he was in Blade Runner.
Yes.
I worked with Rutger Hauer, a beautiful, wonderful man. Right, and I worked with him on a movie called Break. I was one of his henchmen, and it was about the criminals involved in the snooker world.
Right,
you know, and it was an incredible film. And I worked with him.
What was that year like? Then you just.
Oh, it was a great year.
I
done a movie called. I worked with Scott Adkins, who's one of the best stunt fighters in the world, and I done a movie called Avengement with him. Right. This all in the 1 year. Right. I done Avengement. Then I went from that film to do Vengeance Retaliation with Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
Right? I was one of Vinnie Jones's henchmen, right? Then I went from that film to the next film called Break. Then I went from... but no, I'll tell you the order that went. I've got to tell you the funny stories. I've got to tell you the funny stories, right? When I was on Avengement,
yeah,
Scott Adkins introduced me to the director of Vengeance Retaliation. he said, Joe, this is so-and-so. He's the director of a movie coming up, Vengeance Retaliation with Vinnie Jones. So I said, Ross, what's Ross's surname? Lovely man. And I said, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. He went, your demeanour doesn't...
Yeah.
He said, it's funny.
Shit.
Yeah, he said, it's funny. Only this morning, he said, the movie I'm doing, he said, Vengeance Retaliation, he said, it's full of henchmen, mercenaries. He said, and there's a lot of testosterone in the movie. And I said, only this morning, he said, I was talking to the assistant director about bringing in a mercenary with a little bit of manners, a little bit of separate and aggression.
Yeah.
And he said, you fit the bill. He said, just the way you've met me and introduced yourself to me. He said, you actually fit the bill. But he said, I can't give you the part. He said, it's got to go through the protocol. You got to do the casting agent and everything else. I said, well, I haven't got time to go and do a casting. He said, well, you do a self-tape. So I said, yeah. I said, I'll do a self-tape. So I got my friend Kamal Singh. He has a company called E4K. They do a lot of websites for people. So Kamal videotaped me doing the lines for the mercenary. And Wade Barrett, who's the WWF wrestler, he's wrestled The Rock, he's big British wrestler. Yeah. He's the star. Vinnie Jones is his opposition. He's the nasty part. I'm one of his henchmen. So there's a couple of scenes. I got the part anyway. I done the self-tape. Kamal videotaped me and sent it across, and I got the part. So I hadn't read the script, but when I got onto the set, it was wonderful. I met Vinny. I'd met Vinny on a couple of occasions before.
Guy to meet. What's he?
Yeah, he's lovely. He's lovely, Vinny is. I've done a couple of talk audiences with, and but I met Wade Barrett. Big unit of a man, lovely man. British wrestled The Rock and all. He used to be in his team on the wrestling was. Yeah, he wrestled The Rock and all. Yeah, big name. And his saying on his wrestling was. Oh God! Because I had so many people that were fans of his that messaged me and said, "Joe, we love him," and he was a real nice guy. But there's one scene where I've got to disarm him, so I put my gun to him and I said, "Can I take your gun, please?" And he looks at me, he goes, "You must be the most polite mercenary," he said, "I've ever met." This is the lines in the film, you know. But I'm toned down as a nasty piece of work, henchman, mercenary. But Ross wanted me to play the part.
There's something about that. Look at what Harry plays in Mobland. It's a similar demeanour. It's the look. He said, "Listen, I'm in first gear right now. Do you want to see me in sixth?" That early scene, you're like, "Fucking yes!" Well, there's something cool.
And there's a scene where the first mercenary gets killed.
Yeah,
and I show emotion. But he said to me, he said, "Joe, just show emotion." He said, "Your friend has just been killed." He said, "These other mercenaries, you're just a piece of meat." Right? He said, "Show a bit of emotion as your friend is killed." Right? So as he's killed, I stand over him and I look down, very solemn, and I bless myself. And I walk away from the body. And he said, "Brilliant, Joe. Brilliant." He said, because I show sadness, you know, whereas normally, like, you're fired up, you know, the others are all fired up. Genuine in a gun battle, you know. But I just lost one of my friends in a gun battle. So I showed emotion. But I hadn't read the script, right? So I don't know how I'm going to get killed in this film. I know I'm going to get killed, you know. 2 films I get knocked out twice in. People say, how can you get knocked out twice? Oh, sorry, killed twice. One film I get knocked out 3 times. Craig Fairbrass, he knocks me out 3 times in one film. He knocks me out with a baseball bat. Then he knocks me out when I'm cable tied with the butt of a gun.
Right.
Then in a bare knuckle fight, he knocks me out with a headbutt. So 3 times I'm knocked out in a film. 2 films I get killed twice in. People say, how can you be killed twice? I said, well, I get killed as a human being turned into a werewolf, then killed as a werewolf. Then I get killed as a human being turned into a vampire and killed as a vampire.
What one's that?
What was the vampire film? Dead Cert was the vampire film.
I'm watching some of these.
Dead Cert.
You're going to have to
Right, Dead Cert. Some good actors in it. It's a good film. Dead Cert. The werewolf film. I can't remember the name of the werewolf film. But some good actors. Billy Murray's in it. Billy Murray or Johnny Allen of EastEnders. Some good actors in it.
Murray,
you know, the woman that was in... she was in Conan the Barbarian. She was in Superman. There's some big stars in it. Good British film. Jason Fleming's in it. It's a good film.
Mate, I like it. Yeah. So 60 films.
So I've done over 60 films. But when I said to the director, I said on the Avengers Retaliation, Ross, I said, how do I die in this film, Ross? Oh, he said, Joe, you go out in a blaze of glory. Right? He said, yeah. I know I'm going to die, but I'm just curious. I hadn't read the script.
Yeah.
You know, how am I going to die? I know I'm going to die. So he said, yeah, Joe, you go out in a blaze of glory. He said, there's a big scene and explosions, the aircraft explodes, there's a big scene, he said, and you die. Oh, I said, okay, wonderful, fantastic. You know, it's going to look great. So I said, when's that? We're filming in Ipswich, right? So I'm down there we filmed in the big ex-US military base in Ipswich, right? Had an amazing time. My friend Darren, former 3-time world kickboxing champion, right? Darren came to the set. Now he's a mad motorcycle enthusiast. There was all sorts of stunts and motorcycles and cars. Brilliant. He brought his son to the film set. Vinnie Jones made a big fuss and let him hold the gun that he'd actually one of the same guns from the Snatch movies, the big Desert Eagle. And we had Darren came down and with his son. We had an amazing time. But I'm still curious to when I'm going to die. So I said to Ross, when do I die, Ross? Because I'm on a tight schedule at the moment because Mike Tyson is doing a tour and I'm due to go on the tour with Mike Tyson. And this film has come about only by a stroke of luck. When I met you when I was doing Vengeance Retaliation, I've done Break earlier on in the year, I've done Avengement. And then I met you on the set of Avengement. And this film came about with a stroke of luck. But my diary, I'm on scheduled to go on tour with Mike Tyson. So he said, well, Joe, he said, you actually die in such and such a date. It's about 3 weeks' time. I said, Ross, I'm due to go on tour with Mike in 2 weeks' time. Yes. Can I die a bit sooner? Right, true, Scott. I'm just sitting here telling you the story. He said, Joe, he laughed. He said, normally you get actors wanting to hang in there for as long as they possibly can to earn as much money as they possibly can. Only bit part actors, not the big stars. I'm not a bit part actor. Yeah. He said they want to try and get as many days as they possibly can. He said, you're looking to cut short your stint on screen. I said, yeah, but I've committed to the Mike Tyson tour and I don't want to miss the Mike Tyson tour. You know, he's going into Ireland and everything else. And I wouldn't want him going into Ireland without me being beside him, like, you know. So he said, well, we can kill you off quick, but it won't be a spectacular death. He said, whereas the scene that you heard to get killed in was a big spectacular explosions and everything. I said, I don't mind how I die. I said, in film, I'm going to die anyway in the film, so I don't care how I die. So he said, okay. So one of the actors that was in The Gladiators, the TV series, I have a punch-up with him. Good punch-up, like I put up a bit of resistance. Like I'm not going to fall down with the first punch, you know. Put up a bit of resistance. There's a couple of others attack me and I'm fighting like a Trojan, you know, fighting for my life. And eventually he gets on my back and he snaps my neck and I fall down.
You're done?
I'm done. And I went on the Mike Tyson tour.
Yeah, mate, that's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. So quickly, mate, because I could sit here, we've been here for 2 hours, we could do another one. Out of all those movies, what's the best one you did and why?
The best fun?
Yeah.
Well, the best fun I had was on Brassic.
Right.
I've done the TV series Brassic, Series 1.
Okay.
And Joe Gilgan, the actor, Michelle Keegan, I know Michelle's husband, Mark Wright. And they were just beautiful. There was a lot of Irish actors in it. And I had so much fun. My friend Ozzy came down to the set. Had a few friends come to the set, and Joe made them welcome, and Michelle made them welcome. And,
how long were you on set for?
I think 4 days. They put me in a hotel in Manchester. When I went for the casting, my friend Tom Burns brought me down to the casting, and I didn't know who Joe Gilgan was. He's one of the Dingles in Emmerdale. He's a big star. So I'm sitting in the foyer waiting to go in for the audition, and these two men walk in, and one of them went, hey, Joe Egan. So I went, oh, how you doing? I said, you fight fans? Oh, yeah, we love the boxing and you're Mike Tyson's man. So I'm chatting away to the two of them. Little did I know, this was the star of the series, and he wrote the series.
He wrote it.
Right, so as they walked away, I said, all the best, lads, good luck. Tom Burns said to me, do you know who that was?
I said, no.
He said, that's Joe Gilgan. He said, he's a big TV star. He's done loads of things. I said, I didn't recognise him. Yeah. But I just chatted to him about the boxing, right? So suddenly I'm going in for the audition and he's in front of me. He's the man auditioning me. And I said to him, I said, I'm sorry, I didn't recognise you out. He said, Joe, that's what I enjoy chatting to you about the boxing. He said, it wasn't me. He said, I'm chatting to you about you.
Yeah.
You know, lovely man.
Mate,
really, really lovely man. And when I went down on the film set, on the set, got on great. Gave me his phone number, we exchanged phone numbers, we've sent each other messages and stuff, and then it's gone on now to be incredible. I think they've done 7 series of it, Brassic. It's one of the big popular. I think they're on series 7, I think 6 or 7. I done series 1, so episodes 3 and 4, I think.
So what's next? Do you not want to jump back on 60 films?
Listen, my dream, my ambition is to be a baddie in a Bond film. That's my ultimate. Listen, I would to be a henchman to James Bond's
the new one's
enemy
coming up as well, isn't it?
They haven't named Bond yet.
No.
They haven't named Bond.
Was it? Look, Henry Cavill's up there for one of them.
He's a great actor, Superman.
Amazing.
Great actor.
So good.
You know.
So that's it, right? We're going to end on this, mate, because we could speak for a while. I think we can revisit this. Anyone watching this, henchman. James Bond. Who makes him? Who's in this? Who's in the industry that needs to be that?
Well, you know, I've said it so many times. I love Liam Neeson, right? I love Liam. Them Taken films are incredible. So Schindler's List. He should have won the Academy Award for Schindler's List, right? Yeah. Belfast. Dungannon, actually. No, where's he from? Ballymena. He's a Ballymena man, right? And he has done Ireland so proud in the acting. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor. And he's a former Irish boxing champion.
No way.
Right? One of the best films. You ever see The Big Man? With Billy Connolly?
No.
What a movie.
Right,
he fights the ex-British wrestler that was in Elfrida's Aim Pit. He's dead now, God rest him. Was at his funeral. Pat Roach. Right? I'm driving up Gravelly Hill with my friend Warren. Right? We're driving along Gravelly Hill in Erdington. And I see Pat Roach. I said to Warren, there's Pat Roach. We spun the car around. I've jumped out. That's a big, powerful man. He's shaped up. I said, no, Pat. I said, Joe Egan. I said, have the Lyndhurst pub. I said, I saw Liam Neeson knock you out in The Big Man. He said, Joe, he said, I've been knocked out by them all. He said, the best of them. Harrison Ford's knocked me out. Sean Connery's knocked me out. He said, Liam. He said, I was teaching Liam how to throw the acting punch. And he went, no, Pat. To get the power into the punch. He said, Liam, it's only acting, right? And that was what Pat Roach told me and Warren, right? And we became friends that day. And Liam Neeson, to me, is one of the best actors.
So good.
He plays a baddie and he plays a goodie.
Equal,
right? And if they picked him to play the baddie of the arch enemy to Bond, he would play the part so well. And listen, the Irish have had that history with the MI5, right? We've had a history because of the troubles in Ireland. So MI5, the British Secret Service, or whatever you want to call them, have had a history with the Irish. So what better than to have James Bond?
This. Look, it's
listen,
so good.
What better than to have James Bond having trouble with a Northern Irishman.
Yeah.
Right? The troubles are over now in Northern Ireland, and thank God they're over. There's been so many people. I'm so glad there's peace in Ireland. You know, I'm so happy, that there's peace in Ireland at long last.
I spent 3 years there.
Well, you know where I'm coming from. I boxed out of Belfast.
Yeah.
Right? My father was from Dundalk, which is Ulsterman, County Louth. And I love Ireland. I box for Ireland. I love Ireland. I live in the UK. I love this country. I've got a great life in the UK. A quality of life that I probably wouldn't have in Ireland. I definitely wouldn't have in Ireland, the quality of life I have here. This country, the UK, has been good to me, right? But I'm so happy to see peace in Northern Ireland, and the Titanic Centre and the investments going in, the tourists, and because the north of Ireland is beautiful.
Yeah,
there's some fabulous parts.
And on the north coast, all over.
Beautiful. The Atlantic Ocean comes in off the coast of Donegal. Which is a wonderful county. You got Derry. You go through Derry to go into Donegal. You got Armagh. Beautiful, stunning parts of the north of Ireland. Stunning. Beautiful. And the Northern Irish people are wonderful as well. Yeah. And I'm so happy. My brother lives in Northern Ireland. My brother lives in Belfast. Him and his wife and his 2 children. And I'm so happy there's peace at long last. But Liam Neeson to play a baddie against James Bond, and for me to be a henchman for Liam Neeson.
Mate, that's it, Tom. This is the real.
That would be the icing on the cake.
Would you quit then?
I don't think it could get better than that. I don't think it could get better than that.
On that note, mate, I could talk for hours, but we've both got stuff to do. I reckon we should come back and revisit this.
I'd love to. Honestly,
it's been a pleasure again talking to you. Hopefully this time, mate, has been more about you and less about boxing, mate. But I've been pleasure to chat.
I've enjoyed this afternoon. I really have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bring the chocolate next time.
Oh yeah.